And we are live. What is going on, everybody? So check this out. We have President Trump from 2017, actually no, from 2021, giving his view on cryptocurrency.
Right. I'll ask you one last question. You don't like Bitcoin? You wouldn't invest in Bitcoin? Do you invest in the stock market at this moment?
So not at this moment. I think it's high. So I have not invested in the stock market at this moment. I have in the past, but I have not at this moment. I think it's high. Bitcoin, I just seems like a scam. I was surprised. With us it was at 6,000 and much lower. I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar. Essentially, it's a currency competing against.
So 2021, Trump says that Bitcoin is a scam. Yesterday, let's see what he had to say.
Well, it's taken its own life. I do little things sometimes for fun and, make money with it, but I have fun with it too.
You mean you bought Bitcoin?
No, but I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin, or will let people get involved in a new, if you think of it, it's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, I want one currency.
So 2021, Bitcoin is a scam. 2024, it's a new form of currency that he lets people pay with, etc. So he's, fully wrapped up in crypto, and he is saying positive things about it. But what it goes to show is the change in such a short period of time. Only 3 years gone from not a believer in crypto, not understanding it, to 2024, using it and talking positively about it. And when you think about it, we're still in the early stage of people changing their perception of Bitcoin. And these are people who are influential, whether it comes to what they have to say, whether it comes to capital. Those are big things that is needed in the crypto space, but also from people who are just not aware of it at all whatsoever. So this is a continuation of what we're going to see moving forward. More and more people starting to understand crypto, starting to use it and utilize it. And the key thing is that people, once they get crypto, once they get Bitcoin, they don't go back, right? You don't go from understanding its purpose and what it's useful for to then all of a sudden backtracking and then believing it's a scam again. More and more people are going to switch, and again, all of that is just going to be fuel for the fire when it comes to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Let's talk about the price today. So not much action, right? A little bit of a dip, recovered, but nothing crazy. Now, most people thought that once we break through that $70,000 mark, it's going to be off to the races. Price is going to, shoot all the way up to 100K. There was a lot of expectation, too much expectation for what price is going to do. And obviously it hasn't lived up to that expectation. As a matter of fact, it's found it quite difficult to make big moves once it clocked in that all-time high above 69,000. But as you guys know, I have been saying the big move, the real breadwinner when it comes to the movement that we are going to see in Bitcoin is going to come after the halving event. It's not going to come now beforehand. That's what everybody expects it to do. I've been saying this for a while now. It's going to come after the halving event, which is taking place next month, about 30 days away, or like 34 days away. As a reminder, the halving event, that is when the new supply of Bitcoin onto the market gets cut in half. Okay, so it's roughly around 900 new Bitcoins are supplied to the market every day from April 16th. That 900 is going to get cut down to 450. And that is a big deal, right? You are limiting the new supply of Bitcoin on the market. And we know what situation we're in right now. And we'll get into that in a bit. Historically, we've seen massive moves after that halving event. This time should be no different. That is when the real move is going to come. Not now, before the halving event, because what's happening right now is you've got a lot of people who are, on the fence, taking profits, some people selling, putting stop losses here and there. And all of this is creating barriers, creating a situation where price is range bound, struggling to move much higher, right? And as you guys know, the expectation is you are going to get some liquidation events taking place. So that is, you're going to get drops in the price of Bitcoin before or after the halving event, and then real big push is going to happen. The market isn't just going to reward people straight away. It's going to take people out and then reward those who stayed in for the ride. So that's when the real move is going to happen. Lead up to the halving event is going to be a lot of days like today where price doesn't really do anything. But the key update when it comes to the technicals on Bitcoin is that we are building this very obvious trend. And because we are building this trend, we are inducing a lot of buys and we're creating tons of liquidity under this level. On the other side, on the flip side, we know that, and I told you in the last live stream, there are so many short traders above $75. Because there are so many short traders above 75 or at 75, the market is going to have to take them out. Okay, and especially today, given we saw a little bit of a decline in the price, you'd have loads of people like stacking on shorts, adding to their short positions. So the market is going to have to take out those people at 75, right? So 75,000. But it's also going to have to take out all these people here who bought along this trend line, okay? It's going to have to take both people out. So you are going to get some sort of whipsaw price action, or you are going to get a movement up to 75, then a movement right back down to this 65 level. So that's something to be aware of in the short term. It's going to have to happen pretty soon, okay? Take out 75 as well as take out all these people who bought here at 68, at 67, at 65. Now there was let me give you an update on the Bitcoin spot ETF, because it is very important, because Bitcoin doesn't get to 250,000, it doesn't get to 500,000, it doesn't get to 750,000 without the continued strong performance of the spot ETF through time. So if you want to 10x your money, your wealth in Bitcoin, you have to have a understanding and awareness of what is going on with these spot ETFs, okay? It is very important. BlackRock spot ETF being the largest spot ETF out of the 10 that are listed. So remember, the spot ETF is just a way for institutions and some individual participants, especially the older generation, to get access to Bitcoin through the stock market, okay, which is something that they have taken on board very well and have funneled billions and billions through. It just shows the excitement. It just shows that this was very much a needed vehicle in the whole cryptocurrency space. So here's the thing. Firstly, if you look, these ETFs have been around for about 41 days. And just yesterday, through the BlackRock Spot ETF alone, there was 7,700 Bitcoins that they bought. So almost 8,000 Bitcoins were bought through the BlackRock Spot ETF alone. That just shows you that. And remember, yesterday was the all-time high. So it shows you that even though price hit an all-time high, the market doesn't give a damn. The market doesn't care. Okay, so the institutions, that older generation population that are buying through these ETFs, they don't care that it was at an all-time high level, because they see the vision and they understand where Bitcoin is going, and it is going above $100,000. This cycle is going above towards 150,000. Okay, so almost 8,000 Bitcoins were bought through BlackRock Spot ETF, and that is the 5th highest day of purchase for BlackRock Spot ETF since it was launched. The 5th highest day at an all-time high. So whereas you might be worried about putting in a little bit of change here at these types of levels because you think it might be elevated, you have got BlackRock buying 7,000, almost 8,000 Bitcoins because of the amount of money that's come in through from the institutions. Now, also, this supply crisis that is taking place is continuing to escalate. Remember, there are only 900 Bitcoins that are released to the market every day. Okay. On average, BlackRock alone through their spot ETF is buying up 3 to 4 times that amount. 3 to 4 times that amount on just that ETF alone. So yesterday they bought 7,000, almost 8,000, but there was only 900 new Bitcoins in that came into circulation. And bear in mind, it's not just BlackRock who's buying, right? It's all the other ETFs and it's everybody else in the market. So the supply might be here, but the demand outweighs the supply multiple times over. And that is happening every single day. And bear in mind, that supply is being cut in half. So at this rate, literally BlackRock alone through their ETF will be buying up 6 times, 7 times the daily, the new supply of Bitcoins. So they're buying up all the Bitcoins themselves and buying up some of the existing pool. So you can see this supply demand dynamic is insane. It is crazy what is going on right now. And this is going to be a massive catalyst for a massive increase in the price of Bitcoin through this cycle. And you know when to expect that to take place. There is no slowdown in demand here, because if there was, these bars that you're seeing, they would be shrinking, but they're not. On average, they're pretty much all the same. On average, probably about 4,000 Bitcoins a day. Okay, so there's no slowing down in momentum from day 1 to day 41. That will continue through the month. So massive demand, supply crisis going on right now. Those things combined lead to massive increases in price. Now check this out. There was a 12,000 day, so where BlackRock bought 12,000 Bitcoins, and that day was actually this day right here, the 5th of March. That was when we saw that flash crash in the price of Bitcoin. It dropped down to 59,000 or about 59,000. And on that day, through the spot ETF, BlackRock bought 12,000 Bitcoin. So that shows you that the market, okay, the institutions, they are ready to buy massive when the price drops. And we know we should be expecting a liquidation event just before the halving event. And if not but just before, just after the halving event. And you could be sure that that will be the greatest, the largest day for inflows into the spot ETF. That will be the day that BlackRock buys up 15 to 20,000 Bitcoins on that single day alone. Because we know the appetite is there every day, regardless of what price is. And we know the appetite jumps up double when price dips. Okay, and we are expecting a price dip in the very near future. So this is massive, right? The market is prepared to buy huge when the price drops. And because of that, it means that you aren't just going to get this crash situation that you saw in 2021. We have now got support. We've got fundamental support for the price of Bitcoin. I'm dropping some serious game for you guys right now. Now, there are also, as well as the institutions through their ETFs, there are massive buyers in the market right now. And one of them is kind of coined this name, Mr. 100. And their Bitcoin wallet has been exploding, and it continues to explode. So this is someone, so it's not an individual, because, you know, at a time they're buying 7 million Bitcoin, and they're buying it several times a day. So this is someone who on a light day will buy 21 million in Bitcoin, right? On a light day. And they are buying at all-time high levels. They bought yesterday almost 30 million Bitcoin. Today again, another like 15 million Bitcoin, if not more. So this is probably some sort of government or some sort of institution that's trying to mimic MicroStrategy with their accumulation strategy. But it just shows you that there are people tapped into this, and it is the institutions that are really funneling cash through the way of Bitcoin. The retail participation is still very light. It's very much driven by the institutions, and that is what you want. You want that institutional money. You want the retail on the sidelines. The retail on the sidelines is just going to give that real momentum when you get that FOMO rally, which we're not yet there. That will take place after the halving event. Right now, the institutions, what they're doing is they're laying the foundation, right? They're putting the soil down. They're planting the seeds. The retail will provide that push at the end. But that is when price is much higher than where it's at right now. So you've got not an individual, but you've got a government here, or some sort of corporation, some sort of institution that is funneling massive amounts of cash into Bitcoin at all-time high levels at a relentless pace. So it just shows you that there are people, right? There are entities out there that are fully aware of this supply demand imbalance that we're seeing right now, that has the real potential to increase Bitcoin's price to levels that people are not ready for. But you must be ready for this. You must be ready, and you must put yourself in a position where you can take advantage of this. And to do so is very simple. All you need to do is have some sort of accumulation plan, some sort of accumulation system in place where you are buying Bitcoin, where you are purchasing Bitcoin at regular intervals. Okay, that is a very simple, a very basic accumulation plan which will enable you to participate in what is going to be happening here and not be left on the sidelines, because there will be a lot of people who'll be left on the sidelines. There are a lot of people who are waiting for this Bitcoin momentum to run out of steam. They're waiting for the price to move down significantly. And based on what I've told you and what I've filled you in at, that's not going to happen this time round. So you need to be putting an accumulation plan in place with the aim of 10xing whatever you're putting in over time. That is what you want here. If you're able to 10x on your accumulation, 10x on your build up of your Bitcoin position, that's going to put you in a really, 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 really good position. And that is what you want. A lot of people are going to be left behind. They're going to be left behind because they're not tapped into what is going on right now. And what is going on right now is extremely, extremely exciting and very, very fascinating. So you want to put yourself in a position, don't get left behind. Now, yesterday, I was telling you that the spot ETFs, they are only available in the US and available in Brazil. So the spot ETFs have been a complete game changer for Bitcoin. They've completely changed the script for Bitcoin by allowing a whole new pool of investors and participants into Bitcoin that just did not exist. And that has allowed billions and billions and billions to be funneled into Bitcoin to the point where it's at right now, where it is the 8th largest asset in the world, above silver now. I think Google is next at 1.6 trillion. I was saying to you that it is good, but it's only available to those that are on the west side of the world. So anybody who's on the right hand side of America, so UK, Europe, UAE, Asia, can't get access to it. But I was saying the world is watching. And that's what happens when people see other people doing something well. They want to get a piece of the action. They don't just stay silent. That is why we have multiple of everything. That's why we have multiple car companies. That's why we have multiple food restaurants. That's why we have multiple manufacturers of everything and producers of everything. The ETF is no different. We are going to start to see a global utilization of the ETF, which we are not yet there. Bear in mind, we are buying up like 10 times the new supply of Bitcoin per day without the entire globe being tapped into the ETF. So not all of the world is tapped in, but we're still consuming 10 times the new supply of Bitcoin that is released per day. But check this out. Indian crypto investment platform Mudrex to offer US Bitcoin ETFs to Indian investors. Guys, so the Indian army is coming. The Indian army is upon us. Now, the Indians, they have the opportunity to go ahead and buy the spot ETF, joining the US, joining Brazil, right? So the army is coming. The forces are aligning, okay? There is a new pool of capital. The tap has been opened for India and they will be running, okay? They will be flooding their cash into the ETF. And you know what this means? This means that we have even more demand and even less supply. It is like everything is aligning perfectly for cryptocurrency. The move you are going to see in cryptocurrency in the very near future will shock you. Not only that, we have got Thailand as well. So Thailand, SEC opens doors to US spot Bitcoin ETFs for accredited investors. So we've got India and we've got Thailand now that have the opportunity to go ahead and buy the Bitcoin spot ETF, and they will. They'll be coming in their floods. That's not to say that India and Thailand can change the world, okay, when it comes to Bitcoin. No. But what it is to say is that we are slowly making our way to global adoption and global utilization of the spot ETFs. We are one step further than we were yesterday. That is the thing about Bitcoin. Every single day, we make a step forward in the right direction to global utilization, global recognition, global appreciation, worldwide appreciation of Bitcoin. Every single day, we make one more step closer to that. And these steps, they compound. So when you start getting 5-10% moves back to back on Bitcoin after it's made all-time high levels, don't be surprised, because it is a result of the accumulation of all the steps that have been made and put in place day after day after day after day. So as a standalone on its own, this isn't the biggest game changer in the world, but it's one step closer. What we really want to see is we want to see the UK, we want to see those in Europe like Germany, we want to see the UAE all have access to the spot ETF, because now we have real powerhouses that can put billions and billions in the way of the spot ETF. And they want to. There's tons of demand. The UK is years behind the US when it comes to cryptocurrency, but that catch up is coming. The UAE is years behind the US, but that catch up is coming. When that catch up does come, they will be late to the party, but they will still be participating. Now, you'll be well on your way by that time. You would have accumulated a decent amount of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin during that time, but they will be fueling the fire and increase and working to increase that demand and reduce that supply. Michael Saylor actually said something today that was pretty insightful, right? It was short and sweet. And he said, the person that has the most Bitcoin wins. And he is 100% correct. That is why it's very important for you to have an accumulation plan in place. Start acting on it. Do not be scared that Bitcoin is at all-time high levels. That is meaningless. That doesn't mean anything. He has just bought 800 million. I've shown you tons of other people, tons of other participants through through these vehicles. There are hundreds of billions that have been put into this. But the important thing is that you get a position so you are not left behind. That is the key thing. Guys, that was the live stream for today. Do drop me down some comments and I'll catch you on the next one.